They are a people apart, the travelling people, living on the fringes of our society. No one knows where they came from or why they took to the road. Alone, defensive, living off their narrow skills, they have advanced little down the years, falling farther behind as our civilization developed. In the past, few noticed them and fewer cared. There was no one to say that only a minority of travellers lived past 30, or that 10% of their children died before reaching 1 year of age. Let the dead bury the dead, said Christ, and the travellers did so with terrifying monotony. Those who survived carried on into the next generation, bringing with them their little changing habits and their rapidly dying crafts.
In them times, it was far easier to make it. I was doing Dale and horses at that time, and it was far easier to earn a living than what it is now. But the years kept creeping on. I was just getting it harder and harder and harder to get a living. Because horses was plenty. I could go to a fair and I could buy 2 or 3 horses. Well, I could sell them and get maybe a tenner profit out of them again. Well, let me go to a fair today. If I buy a horse today in a fair, I mightn't get a pound on him. I might have to take him to the factory, and I might get £2 profit. I'm off to take him to the factory.
And as the profit in horses declined, the tinsmiths also lost their way of making a living, as plastic and mass production replaced the handmade buckets, pots and pans. And many of the travellers have been forced to find work wherever they can.
The work I do, I go from door to door gathering scrap with a pony and car. I'll take old wardrobes, bottles, jam pots, I'll take anything. I'll clear away any rubbish from any house. And I'm able to make a living out of it. I'm gone on now to the 60 mark, close to the 60, and I'm not fit for work, to tell you the truth. But I have a lot of young fellas here that is out every day seeking work and can't get it.
Well, I get a bit of scrap here and there, you know. And I get £7.17 a week in the door. Then the wife goes around begging a bit as well, you know.
Well, the way I work in scrap, excuse me, is plumbers, builders and factories and places like that. Well, I have a contract that I have my customers there that do collect the stuff for me, and I don't sell to anyone, only myself. And mostly garages and batteries and stuff.
Can you make a reasonable living out of it?
Well, it's not that I'd ever be a millionaire, that I'd ever save money out of it, but I just get enough what keeps me going, what does me.
Many itinerants who have no means of dealing in scrap and the like, and who live in rural areas, do seasonal agricultural work for those farmers who will employ them. They work on beet, on turnips and on potatoes. Few are permanently employed, and most seem to prefer it this way. Henry Maxwell is a North County Dublin farmer.
How long have you been employing itinerants? I'd say it's 4 years now. I started this first spring they were here. I took them on planting potatoes.
How did you find them?
Every year they're getting better. They're just the same as anyone else. If you pay them well and treat them decently, they'll work well.
Have you had many at any given time?
Well, this one family, and I do them piecework. So it means that sometimes 4 turn in, sometimes 6, sometimes 3. Suits themselves, whatever time they turn in and what time they go home.
Why do you have them on piecework?
As I say, that suits them better because they're not tied to time. They don't like being tied to time. They can come in at 10 o'clock one morning, 11 the next morning, and they can go home at 4 or go home at 6. And it suits me better because I don't have to watch them and clock them in and clock them out.
But today, while the older itinerants carry on with odd and often insecure jobs, many of the younger people want steady jobs for the benefits such work can bring them.